Hopefully I can get it unlisted while it's running. So let me just share the link with you 1 second.
OIH.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's live or not, but here's the link. Here you go.
NBR.
And I guess you can just type in there rather than filling clutter in the Discord app. All right, just let me know when you're in it, Drew. Okay, great. So if you have any questions or if you're trying to figure out what's going on, just type here. I mean, on YouTube. And no problem. And I'll just keep going then, because this should just stay on YouTube anyways. So your question was basically an overall scheme of a perfect setup, right? So here's one right here. So just to give a rundown, because people are here on YouTube. Drew asked about what an A+ setup may look like, and this would be an example of a possible good setup. You see how historically within this day, starting off in the morning, we had volume that was basically over 30,000 roughly. It wasn't one of those really thin stocks, because thin stocks can really... General chat, hold on 1 second. Post permission. Talk not regarding trades. I'm still not able to screen share over there, Turf. I don't know why.
Effie.
Hold on, I'm trying to get out of it now. Crap. Let me disconnect from this. God, I'm so bad at Discord. I'm trying to get out of the general chat now. Get back in the lobby. Okay, yeah, sorry. Turf, I couldn't get it to work. Alright, hey Daniel, how's it going? Hey Anton. So Drew was asking about the perfect setup, and I was just going to make a video today about just an overall strategy plan, because it seems like a lot of people were trying to figure out, because I've been doing breakdowns for the beginner traders, but people want to know the overall setup. Oh, right. Okay. Turf was commenting that we could just go into the general chat and type. Yeah, you could do that, or you can just type in the discussion on the YouTube. I know some people actually have issues typing on YouTube. Ivan tried to type something, he couldn't, so he ended up having to Skype me, and luckily I actually had Skype on. So okay, great. Turf can get on here too. So I'm sure Turf can explain a lot of things that I'm not covering, because I get pretty long-winded and spiral. So this stock, you can tell, is actually pretty good from 9:30. Everything before that is just pre-market. So discard everything before that. So it's not a thinly traded stock. It's not a huge stock with a lot of volume. Sometimes we see stocks that have like 400,000 starting off, but you could tell that after 10 p.m. the volume just keeps coming in, and historically every time it does a breakout, the volume actually spikes up. So you could tell it spikes up here, and it keeps going higher and higher. But in this issue, this area right here, you would have expected it to consolidate from this area, but it didn't. It had one tiny reset, and it kept going, and you could tell the volume just still kept its still started to ramp up, and then it had the volume spike right at the very top. And what does it do? It touches 8, a solid number. So once it touches a solid number, it starts pulling back, and it pulls back really hard because it actually forgot to reset itself. So this is what we call like a really good setup, because there are multiple things that are going on here. It has a ramp in volume, and it didn't lose any volume within the 1 minute chart. It just kept climbing, and it forgot to reset itself. So it created what we call a parabolic move. And then it found a perfect area, a solid $8 number. Sometimes it hits maybe $7.99 because it exhausted itself and it couldn't reach there, or sometimes it actually punches through 8, and then it just ran out of steam and it comes back down. But either way, you can kind of see a pattern here where it's supposed to reset like a typical band play, but it forgot, and it compounded its elasticity, and it got farther and farther away from this blue line here, which is the 9 EMA, the 9-minute exponential moving average. And then it just comes back down. Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, I'm just here explaining just overall my typical original strategy, or our typical original strategy that we generally look at, that happens after the morning. So this play also implies that the factor that is after 45 minutes of the open. So we know the trend. The trend is upwards, but we also see that this stock isn't thinly traded. It has some decent patterns, and it's supposed to have retraced, but it didn't reset itself or retrace itself, and it just climbed all the way up because human nature is that we want to complete the movement, and it was so close to 8 that it skipped the area that it could have reset itself and went straight to 8. Does that make sense to some degree, Drew? Great. But which one is Drew? Okay, maybe Drew can't type here. Hey, what's going on, Tim? Hey, Pop Kitchen. Hey, Kayali. How to be part of the morning live stream? Just click like, subscribe, but overall click the notification. That way, you should be notified when I'm live in the morning, which is usually every day. But I decided to take the day off because I was tired and lazy. Okay, here's another one. Pop Kitchen, are you Drew? Are you Fire Medic Drew or are you William Pop? Okay, Drew. I'll just keep this running for you, and maybe you can just look back at it. Hope you're able to do that. Otherwise, I just gonna be talking to myself. But that's a good question. Oh, OMI got me today. Oh man, I saw OMI this morning, Tim. That was a tough one. But just let me finish this off. This topic before I get to anything. But William, you asked. I found out that sometimes Countertrend stops you out a lot. It does stop me out because sometimes I get in a little bit early due to spreads maybe, or it just kind of looked like it wanted to go. Yeah, of course, it does help at times to get in earlier. I mean, size in what we call like a small lot and a starter lot. But if it did anything like I just showed you earlier, right here, hitting an 8 and coming down, I have no problem going in full size. But the whole matter is, regardless if you go in full, full size is never going to be your entire buying power, right? You're always going to be using partial buying power. That way, if it goes further, it even looks better. So the idea of using partial and full isn't exactly um, isn't exactly solidified. It's not concrete, if you will. So I think if Jeremy says he never uses full size, well then of course it's not full size. We can always go larger. We're never using 100% buying power in the first place. William says, where do you go full size when a second red candle is formed? I do. Like something like this, it's due to price action. When it does something like this, I will get in earlier. I will not wait for a full 1 minute trigger down to here because it already touched 8. This is full extension. This volume bar suggests that it's good to go. Some people would start up here. I know that Tim and some other people would definitely just try it out right up there, and quite possibly add before even, or I would add after. So that's basically that's the issue where I say that trading is more like an art, because you're looking for the price action and you want to see if it actually painted a perfect picture. In this case, this is a perfect picture. So I would go full in. I would risk a nice amount because this is a great setup as it's coming down. And if it retraces and it comes down again, I may add some more. Yeah. The times that you see me get like tricked into something is most likely because it looks extended, but of course I would get out and I'll jump back in. Whereas some people will just double up because that extension is just getting further and further away from the blue line. Yeah. Whole numbers are something that are some whole numbers are something that is just really really good to follow. So you can see right here, like SM, this one definitely is a very strong, lots of volume. I mean, it goes from 0 to 200,000 here on volume. That's how broad it is, and you never see like 0 volume. But the thing is, you see it consolidate right here at 3.5. This is the starting line. I don't care what happened right down here, and I don't care anything before that until it does a breakout. And the breakout was small, right? It's it looks like it's half of 200, so maybe it's 100,000 for to start off on the breakout. And look at that. This is this a 1 minute? This is a 1 minute. So look how beautiful it runs on a 1 minute. Most of all of these pictures are all due to all 1 minute charts, and it just keeps climbing. It runs out a little bit right here, and then it just keeps going. And not only did it break 4, it broke 4 like it was nothing. So it just pushed all the way up here, all the way through. I don't know what the daily resistance was, but this was a perfect 1 minute trigger. I would wait for it to come down unless I actually saw something on the daily chart, and it'll just chop its way down because it went too far. This was an obvious move. So something like this I go heavy on. Here's another one. This one's too bundled up to tell, and we see a lot of dots, and the volume is low. So when something's low float, low volume, it can get really wicky. But you can tell that the potential here, right? This one broke 12, and it had to come back down past 12 because it needed to respect the 12 line. Here's another beautiful one, right before 10:15. This one almost hit 32, and not quite. Consolidated at 26. See, each of these horizontal lines are one whole dollar. It never looked back except right here, and then it gave itself enough of a reset to break through 30, but it just went too far. You could just see it, the parabolic move right here. Do I check the float? Float doesn't matter as much to me as volume. and spreads obviously. Float, if low floats generally have a spreadier, it's just spreadier, so it gets a little bit trickier. That's the times when I would average in or average out, because I don't want to get tricked out of a stock due to the spread, unless unless it just, I don't know what I was talking about. It's just one of those days. I got distracted by what you guys were talking about. Oh my, I need to look at that again. What a meltdown. Um, Confirmation is much safer. It is safer. I think it's safer, Tim. That's why I adopted it. But I do see the definite benefits of the way you and GDT trade. So guys, you should just check out their channels, volatility trading. They do they have a really good way of catching the top. But when I see that, I don't, I kind of wish I could do that, but I'm just too stuck in my ways to try anything other way. Um, hey, Big Boy Blue. Hold on one second. Did you check the float of stock? No, yeah. So I don't check the float. I generally just look at the spread. Sometimes low float stocks actually have a little bit of news in it, and I think I just noticed in Jeremy, when Jeremy chimed in for the first time in a year, he showed his post-it about don't trade something that has really strong news, but a little bit of news is good. I mean, it's this right here on Chesapeake. Chesapeake's been doing this quite often the past month for a couple of weeks, so it was on watch all the time. Except that every time every time I was seeing Chesapeake do this, I was on Tradenet, and it wouldn't allow me to trade this one. Um, okay, Big Boy Blue. Good day. Yeah, today was a good day for me. Well, because I'm on Lightspeed. So here is what I have on Lightspeed right here. This I trade a little bit larger on Lightspeed. Let's see. So yeah, shy of 5,000 with commissions. Hold on one second. I hear my wife spying on me. I hear her listening to me on YouTube. Are you watching me? I hear you. Okay, so what, what was I getting at? Um, Here is, I'm only going to show the perfect ones. Um, a lot of times I'll trade something that isn't perfect, and it doesn't mean it's not going to go well. It doesn't give it what I would consider a 90% chance of success. You know what I mean? So sometimes we all have seen stocks that would do something like this and doesn't give you volume, doesn't give you confirmation at all. But you'll still take it, and it still will be greater than 50%, maybe greater than 60%. So like this one right here. This one was a good short, but it definitely didn't have the proper shape. And it was pretty late in the day. So it kind of started curving this way, but then it tanked down. So I mean, if I keep every morning when I start questioning if I'm going to trade correctly, or if I'm going to trade tighter, I always start looking at my collection of copy pasted pictures like this one. This one obviously has news, because before it was just a bunch of dots, little tiny dashes, until news struck, and then people jumped in like nobody's business, thinking that, being optimistic like Americans are, and we just let it fly too high, until it gets to the point that we decided it just has to come back. You need to come back, and then you have to short it. But this one is tricky, right, William? Because we don't know where to enter, and this is a really long candle. So you may trade this small for for a little bit down to this area. But like most most trades we want, you don't get you don't get tricked out easily because the volume starts diminishing. So it's going to be okay. So yeah, when you see something like this, and then this is something that I don't always adopt, but this is a nice rejection wick, right? In comparison to all these candles here, this wick right here would suggest that it's going to pull back. Here's another one, a really nice one. This one has a really, I wouldn't call this a doji, but it is somewhat of a doji with a really small body and a huge volume bar. Now you've seen, again, this is like these are the perfect setups, but we know that a lot of times the volume comes in a little before, and then it kind of relieves itself in volume, and then it just comes down, right? So these are just perfect setups, and they come every so often, in which case you would have a really good chance of profiting off something like this because of that exhaustion point. A lot of times stocks don't do this, right? A lot of times stocks will just kind of consolidate right at that 78.50 area and just kind of curl down. But if something just pops up because we're just too optimistic with the stock, it's going to come down. It's just how it is. I think Tim says stairs up, elevator down, or is that how it goes? I can't remember what you guys say. Here's another one. Very thinly traded stock. I really never thought myself to be short bias until I started looking through my favorite short picks folder, and everything is a short. I don't understand. I never understood why that was. I do take you guys have seen me take bottom bounces, but they can be rough, including today. Today I took eBay, which was a bottom bounce. I think Jeremy did too. That was a tricky one, right? That one didn't really give us a good signal at all. But what we did see was this one was awesome. I missed that one. I think Jeremy did too, from what I read. And it came down to here. And what we did see was when we go into the 5 minute, we see as it's going down, we see volume rise. And then that kind of gives you the idea that it would try to come back up. So those are 70% chance. They're not 90 percentile trades. Man, did you see all those dots? It was my entry was everywhere down there, just randomly, as it kept trying to. I can't. My entries were they're everywhere. Honestly, can't say. What is FE? Is that a stock? Oh, looks like it halted and it just started. It resumed itself. That's probably a good scalp for a long on FE. Good call there. These are the scary ones, right? So maybe trade small on that, but it does look good. Faraz, what was your question? Oh, you said awesome, great job. Thanks. But what was the question? I'm not ignoring your question. Yeah, sell euphoria. I don't see it. I don't see your question. I know that's Fabio. Frost, what was your question? What are your thoughts on Tradenet funds accounts being taken away from? I'll answer that on my phone later. What are my thoughts? Yeah, I need to make a video on that too. Man, see, this is what happens whenever I get so many things going on in my head. I just don't know where to begin. But Tim made a good video on it, but my thoughts are this was kind of expected. I did mention that in a live stream, that worst case scenario, first they stopped taking U.S. clients because it's too much trouble, because they're getting harassed by the SEC regulators, and then the next step would worst case scenario, that would be that they just have to close down their business with the U.S. But the reason I didn't make a video yesterday or do anything, because I needed to talk to my manager, and he never got back to me. He did get back to me on email, and he did say he wants to talk to me soon today. I just haven't had time to call him to talk, because he gets kind of long-winded sometimes. But he's a nice guy. I like him as a manager. I mean, it's not his fault that this stuff happens, but prospectively, we knew that CFDs was banned by the SEC regulators because, in my opinion, CFDs does not benefit the market because it's a simulated or mirrored way of trading the market without adding or removing liquidity. So in a lot of ways, CFD is removing liquidity just because of its existence, right? That's why the Europe and Australia and the rest of them are perfectly fine with CFDs, because it's not their market. They're trading our market, the U.S. So it's kind of expected. The whole idea was that I thought it was rather genius, because they cater to the people that didn't want to pay for that PDT rule, because by saying, hey, we're going to give you a package, an education package. You don't actually own the account. They own the account. You just bought the education package. So that was the loophole that, if I ever said that, then my manager will probably say, hey, try not to say something like that, because it makes them sound like they're doing a runaround. But they kind of are, right? They're kind of just going around the rules, which I'm perfectly fine with, because it is a loophole. I mean, that's just what it is. Terry says training CFD is kind of going to the casino playing virtual black. Yeah, it's just like one of those people playing Texas Hold'em on the computer and making a lot of money, but they're not going to the casino to actually do it. I don't see anything wrong with it, but obviously the SEC finally cracked down on it and said, hey, this is still not okay. You can't just be having multiple accounts traded by different people. So that's my thoughts on it. I did get to hear that that one guy that my wife actually heard me watching and said, turn him off. He's annoying. There's this, I'm not going to say his name. You guys can say it if you want, but he was talking about how he was right, and he initially said that it was a Ponzi scheme. The video I remember him removing, talking about them, was mainly because he thought CFDs was a scheme in all in itself. But if you're European and Australian, then you kind of know that CFDs are okay. It's just not okay here. So depending on what you consider to be a scheme, because Patrick Wyan, but don't give him. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he's really good at building an audience with his talking. But the whole idea is, CFD itself is not a scheme, and if you want to place a scam or a scheme or a Ponzi scheme all in one, the market itself, the whole fact that we have to pay with commissions, is a scheme in itself. Contract difference is CFDs. So just put that into perspective. Before Robinhood and all these other small apps came in and started making trading for free, E-Trade was charging $10 per trade. So was Fidelity, and Fidelity was $8 per trade. Thinkorswim was $8 to $9 per trade. That's how it was. until now it's free. It's free because they can't compete with the market. So that in itself is a scam. They're taking our money. They could use our money to make profit, and yet we still have to pay to trade. I really don't know. I wouldn't. When I heard about Robinhood and it being free, I was already skeptical on it itself. I'm not going to trade on my phone anyways. Uh, Man, you should see the amount of messages I got about one of my old videos on what you need to do in order to be a day trader, and then I got huge amount of comments saying that I was being excessive with four monitors when they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars off their phone. It's ridiculous. I will admit that you probably can get away with two monitors, but the fact that I stream on YouTube and I have a Discord app and I have recording a recording software and I have my trade ideas means that I only have two monitors to show me charts and my trading platform anyways. And I'm using I was showing you guys my Thinkorswim, and I was trading on Tradenet. So, it's just the idea. I just digress. The whole idea is that it's just business, and they got caught, kinda. The SEC found it to be, not in their benefit, and they finally cracked down. A lot of people think that TradeNet's going to go out of business. I don't think so. They have plenty of business in Europe and Australia. It's just the U.S. in itself. I hope that answers your question for us. So yeah, I guess I can change this live stream into the explanation of how to my overall counter trend strategy and TradeNet. The width of my trading desk. I don't know. I think it's about 4 feet wide, or 4 feet long. Great. No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't see your question initially. But yeah, that definitely would be something that some people would accuse me of avoiding, since I was, you know, telling all of my previous family friends to use it. It's mainly because of the drawdown. Of course, I do realize that there is a risk because it is CFDs, but the next best thing would be what volatility trading is using is CMEG, with the 1 to 5 ratio, depending on how much you fund it, and it's actual shares. I think it is actual shares. I think I know that, and it seems to me that volatility trader Tim is able to find, to locate. I don't think he even has to locate. It's just he has some tickers he's able to trade. A lot of tickers he's able to trade without having to locate or short. I mean, while TradeNet had plenty of stocks that ran without me because I couldn't trade it. Let's see. How comfortable, Big Boy Blue? Just a random question. How comfortable do you think you would be day trading without level 2 data? I would probably be a little uncomfortable. Is it possible to trade without level 2? I think it is. Because if I just use the rules that I was talking about, just seeing the volume and seeing the shape, I already have a very good chance. The only time I actually use level 2 is just to know my exact entry price, and
NBS.
and I'm always looking at level 2 for my exits. So maybe I'll trade better without level 2 because I get tricked all the time. But it's always safer to have a level 2. TradeNet, not trade. William asks, I think you would pass if the stock is hard to borrow, right? Yeah, I do. In fact, I didn't even know I was trading anything locatable. I had a yesterday. I just had a nice conversation with some of you guys about locates on Lightspeed, and I didn't even know I was doing it. or not doing it. That is. So if I have to pay extra, I'm Asian. I'm pretty cheap like that. I'm not gonna pay extra to trade something, but sometimes I do, inadvertently, just because it's just something I've done too long, and I didn't even know. Take care, Tim. If you could, Tim, can you link your CMEG video for some of these people? Johnny, so anyone with US Tradenet account is now shut down and lose all their account money? No, hopefully not. That's a really good question. I think I've already. Okay, here's the thing, guys. I just received an email from him, and because I thought it was going to be automatic, but he told me that he told me right here that I should request a payout. So yes, please make the payout request, which I'm horrible at. Every time I do a payout request, I never get the right number, and then they have to correct me. So I was asking them what is my payout, but he didn't tell me. So I just put the number in, like I thought I would be, and you have to request a payout just like any other. But I'm assuming it's not going to be as like usual. We would do a payout for the month before because we already did that. So this will be for July. So the payout should be for July. Oh, mine doesn't ignore my emails. In fact, he told me to call him. I'm actually ignoring him. I just didn't wake up in time. I like my manager, in fact, Mike Sanders. So if you have to switch, choose Mike Sanders. He answers immediately. Yeah. So yeah, take a look. I've asked him. He responded. I asked him again. He responded. But yeah, I was waiting for a phone call. I'm assuming he's saturated in phone calls. Um, so yeah, there's that. Um, does anybody have any other questions in regards to the our common strategy? Oh, only I can send the link because they probably think you're spamming, right? Oh, okay. Copy link, send link, paste link. Oh, that's Discord. Crap. That's the Discord link.
NBS.
Okay. Well, I'll just put it in the comment section. The I'll put it in the comment section, guys. Yeah, here's one right here. Let's say if you get stopped out when William, your questions are always about entries and stops. I really need to get on that video because that is a very good question. We all do it differently, but let me answer. Let's see what you said. Let's say if you get stopped out when a move hits daily resistance, would you just let it go and won't trade it right? No, that's not. No, I need the. So what you're really asking is when do we know we're over trading, or when do we know that we're revenge trading, mainly? Oh, am I missing out on some trade right now? MVS. Oh yeah, that is nice. That is a nice move down with volume. Um, but you know me, Daniel. I won't take it because this is going to be a double down on MVS. Um, so William, as long as it's getting farther away from the 90 MA, it's still in play, um, regardless of the resistance. A lot of times, it will break through that area, being overly optimistic, and then it will come back down. Small size. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I like that. I like that volume. Let's see what happens down there at the 8620 on MBS. So yeah, the blue line is definitely the what So you can see right here on this is the 5-minute chart, by the way. But Daniel was talking about NVS. See how it's double downing here to this area. So this is not a daily. This is intraday support area of what is that? Of 86.18, and now it's 86.22. But you see that volume. This is undeniable. That there's a lot of interest down there. Now we need to ask ourselves: is that interest due to the fact that it wants to get there, obviously, but doesn't want to go through there? Then that's the real question. And it could go through, and we already know it's spending a lot of effort to get down there. Will it bounce back up? You know, it's very possible. So to me there is an obvious scalp there, but I don't like to play these, you know, because somebody else is also doing doing a pullback breakdown. So this was a pullback, and if somebody's smart, they would have entered here and watch it go down. So we'll see what happens. Maybe you can get in while they cover and it'll come back up. So John asked, do you factor news when stocks ramps up? If it's a news play, then it's going to be that other strategy that I have in the video where it's going to be a rainbow rather than a lot of times when stocks just pop, right? They don't ramp up. That's going to be a really strong news play that shoots straight up, and there's two shapes it's going to do. Either it's going to fade or it's going to create a U shape down, a rainbow down, and then maybe it'll consolidate for another move on up. I don't know. I won't bother figuring that out. I just want that rainbow move down, and I'm done with it. So basically all of these stocks that I trade had a really good news in the morning, or midday. There's going to be some kind of catalyst. That's why the volume is a little bit extreme. Things don't just move on its own. There's something going on. Big Boy Blue, do you think sometimes the dirtier, whippier setups can sometimes be more profitable before it pushes people out of position? If so, is it worth taking them? And Tim says, sounds like you're onto something. Yes, that's Tim's saying that because that's exactly what he's looking for. We want something whippier, but at the same time, it's scarier to trade something that's low float that has big spreads. So the problem with being whippy is the fact that you probably want to set your stop further away, right? Because you don't want to get whipped out. So it's up to how you see it, you know. So this one right here on Zyop, is this considered whippy? Because it kind of whipped up here, right, with that wick. But everything before that wasn't quite that whippy. It was before 820 right here, before this move right here, it was pretty much a linear move until it decided to just go, what was the term, ape shit, and then it had to come back down. So this is the whip I think you would be talking about. This is the crazy move that a lot of people will get scared and actually refuse to trade, but we're the ones that trade it because we see this as an exhaustion due to the volume here. If it did this pop with very little volume, I would get kind of spooked, and I probably should trade it smaller, you know. This is why it's so hard to create a video explaining, because you guys ask more better questions than I would ask myself to answer in a video. So yeah, I think this is actually a really good live stream of explanations. Thanks for chiming in and asking these questions, by the way. If you don't mind, click the like, because it helps the algorithm so people can see this one. Now now your MVS is down to 86, so it's all-time lows now. Yeah, it is lagging. I can see myself. This may not be an ultra low latency. Either that or I just have too much stuff going on right now. Oh, that's right. I am uploading stuff right now. That's probably what's going on. But yeah, I hope that explains. Yeah, it's not my light speed, guys. It's my it's my internet on the YouTube because I'm uploading videos to watch for my cardio later on today. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna end it here, guys. Thanks for chiming in. This was mainly for Drew, but if you any of you have any questions, I don't mind just going on to Discord. I was supposed to be on the Discord app, but I couldn't get the stream to work, so that's why I'm here. So yeah, I'll try to stream tomorrow. I just need to wake up in time. This week's been a little sketchy for me with a bunch of bad news going on, but it's okay. All right, take care, guys. Thanks for joining me. See ya, Turf. I'm not using Tradenet anymore. They closed me, and they closed. Well, the silly thing is, we can trade Tradenet, but we can't get payouts. So, to me, it's a waste of time. But yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you.